everybody. I am Dr. Jennifer Morey, and I am here to talk to you about our class, which is Psych 230 Developmental Psychology. I'm really excited to start this semester with you all, and in this video I'm just going to go over some of the basic information about the course. So just to start us off, we got a riddle. I didn't make this riddle up. It's a riddle of the Sphinx. But what walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 in the evening? If you think about this riddle, you can pause it if you want, but the answer is man or woman, people. So we walk on 4 legs, we crawl in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon of our life, and then in the evening of our life, the last end of our life, we may use something like a cane to help us walk. So that's what we are going to cover in this class. We go from the womb to the tomb. So it is the scientific study of development, and we're going to cover the whole lifespan. So I just told you a little bit about what developmental psych was, but before you started watching this video, you had an idea, when you enrolled, like what are you going to talk about in developmental psych? What's the point? What's the purpose? So really with developmental psych, we're talking about human development. It is lifespan development. So a lot of people forget that there's a ton of growth and change happening at the later end of our lifespan, just like in the earlier part of our lifespan. And we'll talk about different domains in which change occurs. So it's not just physical change. We have all kinds of change. We have cognitive change, social change, and we'll talk about lots and lots of different aspects there. If we Google average man, average woman, this is what we get. So this is just an average man, I guess, and what Google finds to be an average woman. If we think about these people, they're certainly reflective of people, they're averages, they're there, but they are nowhere near the whole of the human experience. So these people are extremely limited in their in just everything about them. They're from one specific culture, they represent one gender, represent one ethnicity here. They're just, they don't represent at all the beauty of the diversity of human life. And so in developmental psychology as a science, we try to understand more, not just about the average person like we see here, but really about, the diversity of human experience. So that can be one way that this course is challenging. So I don't think this course is challenging in the way that maybe a physics course is, where it's a whole bunch of terminology you've never heard, and it's these really abstract things. That's not really what developmental psychology is. We've all grown, we've all developed, we have our own life experiences. So many of these things that we talk about, like puberty, most of us have gone through puberty. We know what that looks like. The problem then a lot of people have is taking it from this micro, which is our own personal experience, and moving it to the macro. So the kind of understanding that our experience may not be indicative or reflective of the broader experience. And so that goes back to our average man and woman. These people do not represent all of us. And our own experiences don't necessarily represent the entire fabric of humanity's experiences. So sometimes recognizing, my parents had this parenting style and I grew up fine doesn't mean that the research says that that's the best parenting style we could choose. That's a hard thing for a lot of people to grasp. I think that's one of the most challenging things in the course. Another thing that's really challenging, and this one is inherent to the science, is that most of the samples of science that we have, especially in behavioral research, is made up of people who are weird. So they're Western, educated, industrialized, rich, and democratic. So that's an acronym then that stands for weird. And so what that means is that we don't have a ton of information when we talk about the diversity of the human experience. So that's what we're really trying to understand. But then when we look at journals, this is a bit old, this is 2007, but still most of the samples in our top journals are going to use Westerners as our subjects. And so what does that mean, for our course? That means as we go through, we may talk about science that is outdated. It just hasn't got reflected, new work hasn't been reflected into the textbook yet, or things have changed. That's how science is. It keeps moving, it keeps churning. Also, the applications that are used, they may not make sense for you, for your culture, for your background. Sometimes that can be because of that micro-macro difference. Other times, the science just isn't there to understand, the experiences of puberty in, a small culture in, Africa that hasn't been studied. We don't know. And so some of the applications then is, that we have a lot of the world we really don't understand. So nearly 70% of our used samples were for 12% of the world's population. So we just have so much that we don't really understand about humanity. And the science is trying to get there all the time. We're trying to get new studies, new samples, new experiences. That's the goal. Another important thing about this science is, this is a quote from Alan Alda that I really like, and it's just saying science and the public, have separated so much that many people just consider science another opinion. So they think, all of these have the same weight. My Uncle Bob, mine, my brother, and science. All of those are equally weighted. And, that's really objectively not the case. So with science, we take more than just that micro view. We try to take a macro view. So we try to have lots of researchers doing lots of studies and coming to conclusions based on doing this work. Doesn't mean science is perfect. Not at all. Science is a living, breathing thing. But it does mean that science is not just an opinion. It is something that's empirically based and that's often brought by many, many, many hands to try to find the best solution. So that's why science is kind of, more privileged there than maybe other forms of opinion. So with all of this said about what developmental psychology is, some of the issues in the field, I'd ask, is anyone planning on becoming a developmental psychologist? And I know we're not in front of each other and you can't answer me, but most of the time, even when I'm in front of students who can answer me, I maybe get like maybe one if I'm lucky. So most people do not want to study developmental psychology. So then why? Why are you in the course? Why do they make you take it? Because that's the most common answer I get. Well, they told me to take it. Okay, but why? Why would somebody tell you, you need to take this course? The big reason why, in my mind, which is just because when we talk about humanity, most of the things that you're going to do are going to have humans in them. So if you want to be a nurse, if you want to be a engineer, if you want to be an anesthesiologist, like anything, you can think of, it's going to have, for the most part, have humans in it. So you're going to work directly with them, or you're going to have to report to them, or you're going to have to do something. And so understanding the trajectory with which people live their lives can really help us to understand and navigate those human interactions. So, if you want to be a drug abuse counselor, it's important to know the person in front of you didn't just wake up that day and say, today's the day I'm going to use meth. That's not what people do. It's a whole trajectory that led them to that day. And so developmental psychology then is about that trajectory. So just a little bit about me. I know I've been rambling on for a while, but just a little bit about me. I went to ODU. WVU is where I got my PhD, and then I went to University of Kentucky and did some more research there. I've been at Thomas Nelson since 2015. My research interests are in things like stress and coping, which we'll get to talk about some of that stuff too. This is some of my contact information there. For my office hours, please see the syllabus as it varies depending on semester. And then, there's my pictures. Some of my non-academic pursuits, I have 3 children. Those are the picture of my 3 children, and that's Baby Yoda because I love him. And then other things I like doing, reading. I love taking walks. That's one of my faves. And then watching documentaries. This is not me, so when you're down by the sea and an eel bites your knee, that's a moray. I'm not an eel, but it helps you maybe remember my last name if you're like, oh, geez, who's my professor? I need to send her an email. It's a little rhyme. This one is, specifically not me. I did not write these. If you Google Jennifer Moray, you're going to get this. Justice Hunter and a Baby for Agent Colton. That's not me. I didn't write those. I've never read them, so hopefully they're really good. If you have read them, I should one day just to see what it's all about, but that's not me either. So just last little bits of what this course entails. I would love for you to start with the syllabus. That's going to be, obviously in any college course, the syllabus is the place to go. So please do review that after this video and see what's going on there. Another important distinction, because of everything, so much complexity with moving online stuff, I wanted to make sure everyone knew this is an asynchronous course. So what that means is we do not have specific times where you have to come on and talk with me and your classmates. If that's what you're looking for, we do have other classes where that's a possibility. But for this course, we are asynchronous. So I make videos like this, or I add chapters or PowerPoints or what have you, and then whenever it's convenient for you, you go on and you obtain those materials. We can always meet and talk. I am available, so we can go on Zoom. I'm here for you. That's the thing. Like I don't record videos and then run away and then never come back. I'm here, so we can talk. It's just you don't have to sign on. Tuesdays at 9 or something. I am here, so if you want to come see me again, that would be great. We can talk. And then important aspect for this course to me, really important, is just the respect issue. Since we are talking about so many different, the diversity of human experience, so many different walks of life and the science that revolves around that, it's really important that we be respectful of each other. I definitely aim to maintain that, and if at any time you feel that that's not maintained, please let me know, because that's the most important thing to me. And then finally, there's you and your book. So cuddling, reading the materials. Since we are an online course, we don't get to, meet and have face-to-face and back and forth lecture. So I'll have these videos posted, as well as, the text materials that are available for you. So definitely, enjoy reading that stuff. And that is the end of our slideshow. I look forward to talking with you more soon.